So today we're filming outside. I hope you all don't mind. The weather was just too gorgeous to pass up. So we're taking a look today at your next first date. So your next date with someone new. Let's find out. Now you have a lot of tarot cards that came through. I was drawn to using the Rider-Waite deck for you all. And so that makes me think that it's going to be a pretty traditional date, like they're gonna ask you out or you'll ask them out and then so on and so forth. But anyway, not like, I don't know, like a virtual Zoom date or, you know, any kind of like weird circumstance. Like it seems like a pretty typical date, you know, like you would go out for like a movie, have a nice dinner, you know, that kind of thing. Nothing crazy like, oh, let's go bungee jumping or skydiving, you know, like nothing wild, like a pretty traditional date, you know, like they would bring you flowers or a nice gift, you know, just very traditional, like a proper kind of courtship date is what I'm picking up just from the tarot deck that I was drawn to, but we'll get into more messages here. Now I can already see all of your tarot because I pre-pulled the cards to make it easier since I'm outside. There's a lot of tarot. There's a lot of tarot cards, and you know, sometimes in readings the order doesn't matter, but for your reading I am hearing the order that the cards came out in is very significant. And there's a lot going on, and there is a little bit of a journey here, so just stay with me. I feel like Spirit really wanted to acknowledge what you've been through up until this point and really wanted to give you almost like a pep talk today and a little bit of reassurance, because I think that this is a group where you've had your heart broken a lot, you've been disappointed a lot. I'm hearing not just romantically, but just with connection in general. And so you're left feeling like really guarded, really withdrawn. And it's not that you're bitter, you know, you're not bitter, but it's just kind of like apathy at this point. Like, I don't even know if I want to keep trying with dating. I don't know if I want to keep trying with people in general. Like, I just, you know, there's a feeling of like just being a bit fed up, you know? So that's where we're at, because we're starting off with the Five of Cups, and let me see if you can see that. Yeah, so we're starting off with this Five of Cups. So this is disappointment, right? This is letdown. This is grieving what didn't work out. You know, what you thought had potential didn't turn out to be anything. So, you know, maybe you had people ghost you, or maybe you had to ghost a couple people. You know, you had some couple first dates maybe with some other people and it just never went anywhere, or you had these casual flings that just kind of petered out, not into what you were wanting, but there's just an overall sense here of disappointment. And with the Tower card here, this could also signify that you went through an unexpected breakup, you know?
This could be even just that other things are happening in your life where you're almost to a point to where, you know, like I can't even focus on love because I have a lot of other stuff going on that's calling my attention. And so with the Two of Swords and the Justice, it's like, I'm going to take a time out. You know, if intuitively I feel strongly about someone, then fine. But I'm waiting for my good karma to come in, because at this point, like, I've been through some mess and, you know, and it's really time for me to have a win, and I'm not going to settle for less. So your standards are high and you are feeling a bit guarded, rightfully so. And that's kind of like where you're at right now, or the headspace you will be in when, you know, you start to date again. And so there's a lot of hesitancy. And for you all, honestly, I don't even think that it's you being like, okay, I'm gonna start dating again. You know, like, it doesn't feel like that. With the Wheel of Fortune here, it feels like this person or people start approaching you out of the blue, you know. So it's not like you're consciously seeking people out or anything like that, but it's like luck is turning in your favor. People are starting to notice you again, even though you're really withdrawn and you're not putting that energy out there. I feel like Spirit is pushing the right people towards you, because there's a recognition here from Spirit that, oh sorry, I just shook the camera. A recognition here from Spirit that you are due for a win. So if none of this is sounding like you, I would go choose another group. I feel like this group has some pretty specific messages, and so if it's not resonating so far, choose another group. Or maybe this, you know, this just isn't your reading, and that's okay too. But yeah, we had to get that out of the way. So let's get into this actual date. So with the Seven of Wands here, I definitely feel like you're going to be entertaining multiple offers here. So, and I think that is something that is almost like a message I am hearing from Spirit that you're going to be resistant towards. You're going to think, oh no, that's not me. Like, no one's interested in me. I never even leave my house. I don't know. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, you're going to have multiple love offers coming in, multiple people approaching you. And I say this because we got the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the Emperor. So out of these three people here, you're going to choose that Emperor 110%. Like, these are really good offers. These are awesome offers. But the Emperor is the king of all kings, right? So especially if you're interested in divine masculine energy, I feel like you 110% chose the right group. Now, you know, for some of you, this could also be signifying here that there maybe is one love offer, but they're very, very persistent. And because the Emperor is the king of all kings, he has mastered all of these other sort of sub-levels, right? So he can be in a King of Cups energy. He can be in a King of Pentacles energy. He can be in the energy of the King of Wands, right? And so, you know, he's mastered all of the suits, essentially. That's what makes him the Emperor. And I forgot to say the King of Swords as well. So this could be saying here that, you know, when you go on this first date, they're going to be very emotionally understanding, very compassionate. You know, you're going to feel like you can talk to them about some of the stuff that you have gone through, which for you to do that on a first date is like kind of wild, kind of crazy. But I think this person, and I say that because you are quite guarded. Group one, you are quite guarded, and so I think that's gonna help show you that this person is really trustworthy. I think it's going to make you a little bit nervous. You know how when you feel like you overshare, and then you're thinking about it when you get home after the date, and you're like, man, maybe I shouldn't have trusted them with that. Maybe I shouldn't have gone that deep into it. Maybe I shouldn't have opened up so much. And so some of those fears might kick in after the date, but I feel like Spirit wants to tell you, listen, like, this person is trustworthy. You know, you can trust them. And the fact that you felt so comfortable to open up to them, even though you typically don't do that, is really showing here that there's a lot of compatibility between you two. And with the King of Pentacles here, this could also be showing that this person's going to treat you to a very nice date. You know, they're going to take you to a nice fancy restaurant, not McDonald's, you know. They're going to show up with a nice gift. Like, I'm hearing a nice token. I don't know why the word token is coming up, like token of appreciation, or I don't know. They really are almost going to treat you like a king or a queen, or it's the emperor, so they'll treat you like an empress, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, I think this person is also very direct and very honest, and that is what contributes to this idea of them being very trustworthy. And with the Strength card here, it's like, you know, it's almost like dipping your toe in the water of like, can I trust this person with my heart here? But I do think that they're getting you to open up. You see how like she's gently here getting the lion to open up. Like, this lion could easily bite off her hand, right? But she's not using force. She's being very gentle. And this is Leo energy, which rules the heart. So it's like they're gently like tugging on your heartstrings here. They're gently winning you over because it's the Emperor. So yes, they're very persistent. They are putting in the effort. They are actively pursuing you, but they're moderating it with this King of Cups energy, which is very gentle, right? And I think that they're putting in effort. The thing I love about the King of Pentacles in a love reading is that this is someone who doesn't just talk the talk. This is someone who walks the walk. So, you know, you don't have to just think like, oh, are they just a smooth talker? You know, that kind of energy can come out with the King of Swords. But with the King of Pentacles, it's like, I can show you. You know, I can provide evidence. I can provide supporting evidence that I actually mean what I say and that I am genuinely interested in you. And I'm not just trying to get something from you, you know, with that King of Pentacles there. Okay, and so now with the High Priestess and the World card here, I do feel like you will have to rely on your intuition on this one, because it could be so easy to get scared. It could be so easy to get in your head about this and to not take this opportunity for what it is. And so, I mean, the future isn't set in stone. I mean, yes, there are fated events with the Wheel of Fortune. Like, this person is meant to show up in your life. Now that I'm getting into your cards, I do feel like it's more about one person actively pursuing you, but for some of you it could be like 3 love offers and you choose the Emperor. But anyway, sometimes the messages kind of unfurl as we really get into the energy of the cards. But anyway, this person could also be quite well traveled, and you could they could live a short distance from you, but honestly, I'm picking up more of this idea of them being well-traveled, well-cultured, and they could be from a different cultural background than you. That doesn't just have to mean race or ethnicity. It could mean that they have a different, you know, they come from a different socioeconomic background, they have a different religion than you, so on and so forth. Okay. Sorry about that, pile one. I had a phone call come through, so you're gonna see probably like a weird jump cut. But anyway, let's get back into it. So your next 2 cards are really just confirming everything we've been talking about. We have the Healing card and we have Fear. So, you know, it's one of those things where I always feel like, don't be too hard on yourself. You know, like if you get nervous, if you get anxious, if you feel triggered by certain things, and this person is awesome, great, treating you wonderfully, and you still don't know why you feel those feelings, I think the guidance here from your cards is just to embrace it. You know, the first date, I think, after a period of loss like you have experienced, is always going to be hard. You know, it's always going to be difficult. It might bring up a lot. You know, certain things might just trigger you to think about an ex or to think about ways that you've been hurt in the past. And, you know, I feel like that's what's so great about this person's energy, being so comforting and so honest and straightforward and, you know, isn't keeping you guessing. I think that is really comforting about this. But you just give yourself space, you know, feel those feelings. You know, I don't know if you've heard of the technique leaves on a stream. A lot of therapists will suggest this, where if you have like a negative thought or emotion that you really don't want to be experiencing, sort of conceptualize that as a leaf, watch it go in your mind down a stream, and let it go. And so it's just a visualization exercise that might be helpful for some of you. But just know that it's normal, you know, like to feel afraid or to feel scared or to feel nervous after you've gone through the Five of Cups and the Tower. I mean, it's a normal response, right? Like, or even to feel anger, like that's a protective feeling, you know, to be guarded. That's a normal response. It's an understandable response after you've been hurt, put through the ringer, betrayed, disappointed. I mean, it's normal to feel hesitant. It's normal to feel like you want to protect yourself. And so I feel like these messages needed to come through so you can remember it when you're getting ready for this date, when you're deciding if you even want to accept this, you know, offer to go out on a date with this person. I feel like this is Spirit really giving you a pep talk so you can be more open to this, but also so you can feel what you need to feel without judging yourself for it, because that's really important too. Yeah, I mean, we have the Turmoil card here with Sailor Mars. And we have Trust here with Sailor Moon. And you can even see like how Usagi here is like looking up at whoever this person here is. It's with trust, right? And so this is just a side message here, but this person could be taller than you. With the Emperor, if we're talking about their physical appearance, it's a general reading, so you know, take this with a grain of salt, but they definitely could be taller than you, maybe quite muscular. I think of the Emperor as someone who takes care of their physical body, for sure, like someone who's really into like health and fitness. But anyway, that's just like I'm getting off topic a little bit. But yeah, I do feel like you'll, and I think that might be what is sparking some of the anxiety, is that you do trust this person and it's kind of throwing you for a loop, because you're like, who am I? Like, I don't trust this easily. Like, why am I? And so like you're like suspicious of the fact that this person is coming across as so trustworthy. It's like, is this too good to be true? Am I fooling myself again? Because it's like you don't trust your own judgment anymore. So you're like, am I fooling myself again? So it's like, I don't trust my judgment. I'm feeling disconnected from my intuition. So what am I going to do then? I'm going to close myself off to everyone. And so I feel like this person is really pulling you out of hermit mode, because I don't care. Even if you're surrounded by a group of people, you can still be emotionally, mentally detached. And that's what I've been feeling for you guys, is that even if you're in a crowded room, you've been feeling so detached from everyone and everything, and even yourself. Because it's like you don't even want to go there. You don't even want to go there. And that could be part of it too. Like, you don't want to feel these triggers. You don't want to be reminded of anything from the past. And when I say triggered, I don't mean anything that this person is doing, but just going through the motions of going out on a date could trigger some anxious feelings, some feelings from the past, things that you want to forget. And so, you know, it's kind of like ripping off a band-aid. Like, you just got to get through it, and don't judge yourself for how you get through it, you know? If you need to come home and cry and you are like, I had a great time on that date, why am I crying? Just go with it. Just go with it, because you might need to have an emotional release. Okay? But yeah, part of this really is going to help you learn to trust yourself again, which is going to be really beautiful. But you see how like focused and determined she is here? It's like, you will get through this and it will be okay. And listen, like, time is the best healer of all. So this person over time will show you how trustworthy they are, through their actions, through their words, through continuously showing up for you. And you know, the Emperor is someone who is very like goal oriented. So if he's into you, this is a very mature energy, you know? So like the Emperor is not going after someone just to feed their ego. Like this is a very mature energy. So it is because they see some sort of future with you, right? I mean, it's the first date, you know, like we're not planning a wedding here, but you get what I'm saying, right? There's long-term potential. Okay, and I also think, looking at some of your other oracle cards here, we have clarity, we have illusions, and we also have self-love. To me, these cards really go super well together. I think Spirit is saying, be careful not to see red flags where there are no red flags. I think it's one of those things where if you feel like in the past you missed a lot of red flags, you can kind of overshoot it in the future and see red flags everywhere. I have a friend who's like this, you know, where she overanalyzes and like psychoanalyzes everyone she's talking to the point to where I'm confused just trying to listen to it and sort through it with her. You know, I'm like, I think you're reading too much into this. And I'm a Gemini moon, so if I'm telling you you're reading too much into it, best believe you're probably reading too much into it, because Gemini moons tend to be overthinkers. So yeah, just be careful. I'm hearing, don't see red flags where there are no red flags. Don't be so judgmental of yourself or them, you know, just be I think it's a process, right? Like it's easier said than done to tell you to be a little bit more open, but I do think that the Emperor is he's a patient guy. He's a patient man. You could be interested in a woman. You know, when I say man, just ignore me. I'm just talking about masculine energy. Language is hard, but yeah, the Emperor, it's a patient energy. It's not the King of Wands, right? It's not impulsive. Okay, and so with the clarity card and self-love, you know, I think this is what is going to help you get through this, you know, like opening up to dating again, like still work on your self-care, you know, don't spend the whole day before the date obsessing over it. Keep yourself busy, give yourself a face mask, you know, do your nails, take a walk outside, meditate, pray about it if you got to, journal about it, get all of those anxious thoughts on paper and then burn it, toss it, throw it away. I think that would definitely be a great way for you to pregame this date. Okay. Now we have social media. So this could be indicating how you meet this person, how you connect with this person. This could also be telling us that at least one of you is trying to do a little bit of spying on social media before this date to get some intel. The wind's blowing, so I hope there's not too much like background noise. This could also indicate that this person, it could be the kind of date where you want to take pictures. So maybe they take you to a really nice restaurant, and let's say it's like a rooftop kind of deal, right? And so like maybe you want to take pictures of like the skyline, right? If you're on a rooftop, you know, dining area. So they may take you somewhere really beautiful where even if you're not someone who takes a lot of pictures, you're like, man, I should take a picture. This is really beautiful. Okay, we have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn energy. So this is echoing that King of Pentacles energy before. I feel like this could be your, you could have some placements, you could be an earth sign, but also I feel like this is showing how you're going to perceive this person. On the first date, I feel like you're really going to see them in that King of Pentacles energy, which makes a lot of sense because this is very grounded energy, and so it's more easily apparent. You can point out a King of Pentacles pretty easily, right? Because he's got some money, he's successful, he's established in his career, he likes luxury, he likes nice things, he's practical, straight shooter. King of Pentacles is kind of easy to spot. King of Wands is a little bit more elusive, right? You know, it's things that aren't quite as tangible. So, sorry, a wasp just flew really close to me. I'm not afraid of the wasps in the backyard or the bees. They don't bother me at all, but when they fly super close like that, it just startles me. But anyway, you might be a little jumpy on this first date. I'm just teasing you guys. What was I saying? Oh, the King of Wands, you know, it's not as tangible, right? And it's sort of more of a matter of opinion whether someone's charming and funny and, you know, King of Wands kind of energy. I keep shaking the camera. I am so sorry. Okay. This date could happen in the autumn time. Obviously this, you know, you may live somewhere where you don't have autumn, so you can, you know, disregard that message if that's the case. It could also happen during the months of September, October, November. You know, if you don't have autumn during those months, it could be those months. Also though, we could take this metaphorically, especially given that we have the Five of Cups and the Tower, because these are both cards about grieving a loss and letting it go and starting over from scratch. And what happens in the autumn? The trees fall from the leaves. No, the leaves fall from the trees, right? So it's a process of letting go in the autumn, right? It's in preparation for winter. And so, you know, metaphorically in your life, you could be having some endings during this time. You're grieving the loss of something, you're letting something go, and preparing to start a new chapter of your life when this person comes into your life and you go out on this next first date. Okay. Now with the travel card here, I think that you did, yeah, you got the World card earlier. Sorry, I've got them all spread out on the table now. So yeah, like I said, I feel like this is really confirming that this person is very well traveled, and they could be someone who travels for work as well, I'm hearing. They also could definitely suggest to you, I don't think you're doing this on a first date, but I feel like they could suggest to you, hey, you know, like, if we keep seeing each other, I would love to take you to X, Y, and Z. So this is the type of person who would like to do like a weekend getaway, who would like to, you know, take you on a cruise when maybe things get more serious, or travel to another country. I know it could depend upon where you live. If you live in America, maybe it's a little bit harder to go to another country. You know, you go to Canada or Mexico. But if you live in Europe, it's kind of easy. Well, it's a lot easier to travel to different places, you know, versus living in the States. So that message could definitely vary depending upon where in the world you are watching this and how easy it is to travel to another country. So yeah, just take whatever message resonates for you and where you're at in the world. But regardless, for everyone watching, this person will be well traveled, and that could make you maybe nervous too, that they're so cultured, you know, depending upon your background. That might make you a little bit nervous, you know, like a little bit of intimidation. Like maybe this person speaks 2-3 languages and you're like, oh wow, they're super sophisticated. What are they going to think of me? And that might spark, you know, some insecurities, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, wow. Okay, we've been through all of your cards now. Let's see. Let's get the Astro die, but I'm only gonna use the house one. I'm gonna roll this 3 times. Let's just see if we can get some more information about this, and then we'll wrap up your reading. You can tell we're super casual today. Okay, we've got the 6th house. So definitely echoing that idea of this person being really into health and fitness. They will also be someone who likes a very structured routine. That's not surprising with the Emperor. In terms of your first date, this person will have planned out everything, okay? And this person can be a bit of a perfectionist as well. They want to make sure you have a good time. They want to treat you well. They really care about you actually enjoying yourself. And so it's not like they're just taking you out as preamble because they just want to get it on with you at the end of the night. You know, it's not like that. They genuinely do care about your experience and they want you to have a good time. You could also, I feel like this person also could maybe come into your life. You could run into them just when you're going about your day-to-day errands. And remember how I said some of you have been in like hermit energy, so maybe you literally only leave the house to like go grocery shopping or to mail a letter or something, and that's when you could run into this person. Like you're going and getting your hair cut and that's when you meet this person, you know, in the parking lot, you know, like just really randomly. Okay, so now we have the third house. So communication between you two is going to be excellent. This person will also definitely be bragging about you to their friends. Yeah, that could be why the social media card came out, because maybe they want to show a picture of you to their friends. This could also be your energy. You could be asking your friends, what do you think about this person? Especially if you're not trusting your own intuition, you may be asking your friends for their opinion as well. Okay, last house, 6th house again. So I feel like that was spirit like co-signing what I said before and being like, yep, really pay attention to those messages for the 6th house, because that was right on the money. So thank you, spirit. Okay, yeah, so this was your reading, group 1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind me filming outside. Also, I promise you this is my backyard. I filmed a reading outside one time and I had someone in the comments be like, is that a green screen? I don't even know how to do that. This is my backyard. So anyway, group 1, take care. Me being interrupted by that phone call really threw me off. It made me think I was filming group 2. Don't worry, your cards are pre-pulled, so no mistakes there. But if I've called you group 2 before, I'm sorry. Anyway, take care, group 1. I will see you in my next one. So as you can tell, we're filming outside today. I'm in my backyard. The weather was too gorgeous to miss out on, so I hope you all don't mind. You may hear some birds chirping or some other noises in the background. Also, if I shake the camera, I'm sorry. It's a very precarious setup that I have here. I've also pre-pulled all your cards and I'm looking at them because, you know, we're outside and I don't want to be shuffling cards everywhere. So anyway, let's get into it. Your next first date. So for most of you watching this, you're probably single right now. But anyway, okay, let's get into it. Your first card is the 6 of Wands. So I definitely feel like this is going to be a good first date. I mean, you're going to come home and feel like that was a win. That was a really good time. You're going to have a lot of fun on this date, but it is going to be very busy. With the 7 of Wands coming out, it's going to be very busy. So I wonder if this is the kind of date where, you know, it starts off in the daytime, like maybe you decide to meet up for coffee, because it's also giving the energy of it being very spontaneous as well with all of this Wands fiery energy here. So you could be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. This person could also be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Maybe not necessarily just as their sun sign, but maybe their Venus, Mars, or their moon or ascendant. But anyway, definitely a playful, energy between you two. And it, like I said, it could start off like maybe you meet up for coffee and it goes way better than what you were expecting. So, you know, then it's like, oh, well, do you want to take a walk at that park right there? And then you're walking around the park and then someone says, man, I sure could go for some ice cream, you know, or then you see some boats by the water and you're like, oh, let's try that out. And then before you know it, you spent the whole day with this person. And so it could be like one thing after another. With the Four of Wands, like you're having a really good time. You could be literally dancing on this date. But yeah, you're definitely having a good time. Very busy. I do feel like you could be doing things that require some physical activity. So this could be like going for a hike, going for a walk, doing something in the outdoors, hanging out at the beach. I don't know, like anything outside, going for a bike ride together. Like we said, maybe dancing, maybe going to a concert. Yeah, definitely something that requires movement. Like you're not just sitting and talking for the entire date. Like there's other stuff going on and it feels like a really long date. And you know how you go like to multiple places, like obviously there's gonna be money spent. Like, so I feel like by the end of the day, it's not that this person is like splurging on like really expensive stuff, or it's not like, you know, if you're the one paying, it's not like you're spending a ton of money all in one go on like some luxury stuff. It's more of like things just add up throughout the day because it's such a long date. So, you know, you got to pay for parking like everywhere you go in some places, or, you know, you got to buy your food and then you got to tip everywhere depending upon, you know, like which country you live in and what the culture is for tipping. I know it's different in different places, but in America, you tip pretty much everywhere. So, you know, just like little stuff like that kind of adding up throughout the day. And so if they're the one treating you, you may be like, man, when I think back on it, they spent a lot of money on me like today. So this is kind of like a funny, I keep laughing and smiling throughout your reading, so I feel like there's a really positive energy here. Very different than group one, because group one started off like very somber, and you just have this like really lighthearted energy here. So I feel like there's a lot of banter, there's an easy rapport between you two. It just feels very fun. Very fun. And I feel like some of you are so overdue for some fun. I mean, you feel like a kid around this person in a good way. With the Nine of Cups, I mean, this is a wish come true. This is like your dream date kind of energy here. And, you know, we have the 10 of Swords and the 8 of Swords. So that's why I said, like, I feel like you're due for a good time. And I feel like, you know, your ex probably treated you like crap. I mean, with this 10 of Swords in particular, I don't know if you guys can see or not. Let me see. You see, like, right here, this, like, picture frame here? That's a picture of Stan, her ex-husband, who, like, cheated on her and, is just a schmuck. He's just the worst. No one likes him. So, and this is the TV show, The Golden Girls, by the way, in case you guys don't know. So, yeah, your ex could have treated you like crap, and so, like, you're due for a good time. You know, you're due for some fun, and it's time for you to get out of the house and just enjoy yourself, you know, let your hair down a bit. Now, with you choosing group 2, I didn't use the Golden Girls tarot deck for all the groups, so you could be someone who has a lot of friends, or maybe this person has a lot of good friends, you know, likes to keep their social circle, not like a ton of like superficial friends, but a good solid group of close friends. This could be their energy if you're more of like a lone wolf kind of person. Let's see, you could actually live in a warmer climate as well, because the Golden Girls is set in Miami, Florida. So that's obviously just, you know, maybe like confirmation that you chose the right group kind of thing. Or maybe you just really love the Golden Girls. But anyway, you guys also got the King of Cups. So this is Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces energy. If you're interested in a divine masculine energy, then this is your guy. You may feel like this is you though, so it kind of depends upon who is watching, because it is a general reading, but I think for most of you, this is the person you're going on a date with. And so, yeah, the King of Cups really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Gracie was doing something funny in the window and I just noticed it. But anyway, okay, off track. I'm really giggly in this reading. I just think this first date's gonna be so fun and so nice for you. This King of Cups though, I'm getting a super good vibe from him. He seems more flirtatious, I feel like, than the average King of Cups. There's something about him where he's not afraid to be like a little bit self-deprecating. Like he has a very like disarming and sweet, open-hearted kind of energy that just kind of like effortlessly wins people over. Like it's the kind of charm where you don't take yourself too seriously, you have a lot of fun, and you kind of just wear your heart on your sleeve, and people just respond to that. Like it's so nice. And I feel like this person likes to joke around for sure. I feel like there's definitely an element to this King of Cups where they do have some fire sign placements in their birth chart, because it's like they have that emotional depth, but then they also have this very fun side to themselves, you know, where they're not afraid to be free. They're not afraid to express how they feel. They're very free-spirited. Okay, if you're interested in a man, okay, and you're watching this reading, I know a lot of women are subscribed to my channel, and from the comments I can tell a lot of you are interested in men when you watch future spouse readings. But anyway, if you're interested in a man, think of almost like the male version of like Phoebe Buffay on Friends, like a little bit like that, except with some emotional depth. Like if you can conceptualize what that would look like in a person, I feel like that's this guy. And then if you're interested in a woman, imagine just Phoebe Buffay with some emotional depth. And not to say Phoebe doesn't have emotional depth. I mean, obviously, if you watch the show Friends, she's gone through a lot of really traumatic experiences, but she makes light of it. Whereas I feel like, you know, and that's her way of processing and coping, and totally fine and dandy. Whereas I feel like this person could get deep. You know, I mean, Friends is a sitcom, so it's not going to go that deep. I feel like this person could go that deep once you get to know them better, not on this first date. In this first date, you're going to get their very playful side. I almost feel like this person might be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces sun, but then maybe they have like a Leo rising or a Sagittarius rising sign. Okay. Let's get more into this. So we have strings, and we have freedom, and we have true love coming through. Pretty good to get a true love card on the first date. Okay, I want to talk about these two cards first, the strings and the freedom card, because these two cards came out at the same time, and I love that. So if you're worried about being with someone who's really controlling, someone who's really manipulative, this person isn't that. I feel like some of you have a really rotten ex who treated you like this and who probably gaslit you a lot. So this person's not like that. Remember how I said they were very free-spirited? They don't want to feel caged, so they're not going to treat you like that. This person is very big on, I will treat you the way you treat me. You know, like I will reciprocate your energy. So if you're treating me like I don't matter, then guess what? I don't care about you either. Like I don't need anybody who doesn't need me, you know, and if you're putting a lot of effort in, I'm going to put a lot of effort in. You know, like they just respond to energy and they keep it moving. With true love, this could definitely turn into something long-term if you're wanting it to. This could also signify that there's a strong feeling of infatuation here, you know, like soul recognition, maybe a little bit of love at first sight, and that may surprise you. You may have never experienced that before. Okay, we have friendship. What did I say with the Golden Girls Tarot? friendship, friendship, friendship. So you could have mutual friends in common with this person. Your friend could introduce you to this person. That could be how this whole date comes about. This could also signify, again, that this person's going to be talking to their friends about you. And yeah, I feel like they are just super excited for where things could go with you. We have offer, so they will be asking you out on the date. They will make the first move. They will ask you out. They could also, you know, show up at your door with maybe a nice gift. I don't think it would be a traditional gift. So group one seemed very like traditional, like they would show up with like flowers or chocolate or something like that. With you all, I feel like they would show up with something like really heartfelt and really thoughtful and something very specific to you, and maybe even like an inside joke kind of thing, because I do feel like you two would probably chat a bit before you actually went out on this date, because it just carries the energy of you two having such positive rapport from the get-go. So I feel like you two have already established some level of connection before you actually go out on this date. This could be like friends to lovers, where you start off as friends and you know, you've hung out with them before you actually go out on an official date, or you've at least had some phone conversations with this person. Also with the true love card, it has these music signs around it. And then you have, oh, I'm sorry. I know I'm going to keep shaking the camera. I'm so sorry. And then we also have the music card. So I really like that synchronicity for you guys. So this person could be a musician. I mean, it's the King of Cups. So, you know, he's got some soul to him, right? So he could be a musician. You two could bond over music. You could be listening to a lot of music on this first date. You know, like we talked about you guys doing a lot of things together. So as you're driving from location to location, you could be jamming out to music that you guys both love, and discovering that you two have like a similar taste in music, or they introduce you to some new artists, or you introduce them to some new artists. You could also be going to a concert, you know, dancing like I said before. Yeah, and eventually if you two become a couple, you could have a song that's like your couple's song. You could be getting some signs about this person coming in through music as well. If you're spiritually minded and you're into that, that could be something that is happening, like their higher self could be trying to connect with you through that way, especially since we got the true love card. This could be a soulmate connection, right? I'm gonna have to take a sip of my smoothie. I think I'm almost done with it though. I'll really try to cut that out for y'all. I really don't like listening to readings and hearing people drink, and I'm always so afraid that I'm gonna forget to cut it out and that y'all are gonna hear me drinking, because I just think it sounds gross. All right, if that ever happens, I'm gonna preemptively apologize for it. Okay, so we have summertime, June, July, August. Now, I know you guys are watching this from different countries, different places. So, you know, if maybe you live somewhere where there is no summer, you can disregard that message and instead think of this happening during the months of June, July, or August. I do feel like this is it. Like, I feel like this is the time frame for you guys. In general readings, you know, it can be a bit iffy, but for you all, I don't feel like this is a metaphorical message. I feel like this is just a straightforward message that for most of you, this is when you're going to be going on this first date. And remember, it doesn't mean necessarily that this is when you're going to meet this person, because if you do end up being friends first, it may take a couple months or a couple weeks before you actually go out on the date. So if you go out on the date in June, maybe you actually met them in April, May. You see what I'm saying? So it's gonna vary. It's gonna vary. Okay. Also, that makes a lot of sense for it happening in the summer, because remember, we said you're gonna be going from like place to place. So if you live somewhere where it is, you do have summer, you do have a proper summer season, then, you know, typically people spend more time outdoors, and we talked about you guys doing something physically active together. So in the summertime, that's when people go to the park, and when they go hiking, and when they go to the pool and the beach, and you know, all this and that. So yeah, I feel like we were right on the money with what we were getting in the beginning. Okay, we have universe, trust in the universe, and divine timing. Some of y'all are getting a little bit maybe impatient, maybe a little fed up. Like, when am I gonna meet my person? When am I gonna meet someone that I actually vibe with? Come on, Spirit, like, haven't I waited long enough? And this is Spirit kind of just being like, well, you know, God's time or divine timing, the universe's timing is perfect. Remember your place. Nah, I'm kidding. Your guides probably aren't that sassy with you, but yeah, just be patient. I mean, it's the hardest lesson, but I mean, it's a lesson, you know, it's not meant to be easy. I myself have been fed up with divine timing, you know, just in my own journey. Like, when is it gonna happen? When is it gonna change? Like, I feel like I've been stuck in a transitional period that feels stagnant, you know. I mean, it just happens where things are outside of our control, and it is what it is. I mean, you know, I think we make a lot of assumptions about stuff. You know, we have such a limited perspective, and sometimes it's hard to remember that. I gave this example before, and I apologize if you guys have heard this, but I think it's a really good analogy. So if you're driving somewhere, and I always say a prayer before I get in the car. I say a prayer that Gracie will be safe while I'm gone, and I pray that I will get home safely, you know, back to her all in one piece. So, you know, I get in the car and I'm driving, and obviously, like, I want to get to my, you know, destination in the shortest time and the easiest time possible, just like everybody else on the road. And it can be really frustrating when someone like cuts you off and starts driving really slowly, right? That can be irritating. I don't speed, but I expect other people to drive the speed limit, you know, and not like 15 miles under the speed limit. So, and I expect other people to not cut me off for no good reason. But sometimes I think to myself, maybe the universe put this person in front of me, and maybe the universe is trying to slow me down, because if I were going at my normal speed, maybe I would get into a collision. Maybe there's some sort of danger that they're trying to help me avoid. You know, maybe if I were driving at my normal pace, I would come to an intersection at the same time as this blue car, and this blue car is speeding, and the universe knows this blue car is speeding and is going to run this red light, but I would have no way of knowing that that car over there is going to run a red light, and they could crash into me and do a lot of damage, right? So maybe Spirit has this person cutting me off and driving really slowly to prevent me from being at that intersection at the same time as the speeding blue car that's going to run that red light. And that's how my mind works, and that's why I was saying Gemini moons overthink. But I think sometimes it's helpful. So I was just thinking about this one day when I was driving, and so, you know, sometimes what we conceptualize as an inconvenience or an obstacle or a barrier to get to where we're going is actually a huge, huge blessing, and maybe even the thing that we actually prayed for. So if I'm praying for safety, it could be that that person who is slowing me down and inconveniencing me is actually somehow keeping me safe, even if I don't realize that or recognize that because of my limited perspective. Whereas the divine sees all. Okay? So, if you're wondering why you're feeling lonely and you're like, why am I being punished? Divine timing, you know? And so there's some things that you don't know about that are going on. And so if you're watching this reading and you're like, man, summer's so far away, are you kidding me? Divine timing. You know, I can't tell you why that's the way it is, but Spirit is saying there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. And you have the caution card here, so it's saying, like, don't rush. Don't rush. Like, our timing is perfect. Don't rush. And even when, you know, you are, like, talking to this person, dating this person, meeting this person, even if it's true love, even if it feels like the most right thing in the world, don't rush it. Don't rush a good thing. he's not going anywhere if it's true love, so why is there a need to rush it anyway? And I know I'm saying he, and I will apologize for that. Sometimes that just happens. You know, it's a little bit easier to say he than to say the divine masculine or the king of cups over and over again. So as you guys know, if you're asking about a woman, that's fine. We're just talking about energy. Ignore the pronouns. It just makes it easier to get the messages through. Okay. Now, we have Stormy here. I think that there is something here about, and I think this is why there might be a little bit of a holdup, because I think some of you really are like, summer is so far away, like, girl, you know? There's something here that I think you're gonna go through before you meet this person, and Spirit kind of like wants that matter settled before, you know, before this person comes into your life. And it could be on their end too. So there may just be like something that needs to be worked out before this person comes in. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think acceptance here is the name of the game, because we can't control everything, right? Okay. So we have anger, we have strike back, and we have couple. Okay, so with the couple card, I feel like this is Spirit saying, especially because you got the true love card, I feel like this is Spirit saying, listen, this can turn into a full-blown romantic partnership if you want it. There is potential there for that to happen for sure. With strike back here, I feel like this is Spirit encouraging you to don't be afraid. Just because they're gonna ask you out doesn't mean that you always have to wait around for them to make the first move. Like, after you go out on this date, don't be afraid to reach out to them. Don't be afraid that they're gonna think you're desperate. Don't feel a need to play hard to get or anything like that. Like, it's just not necessary. Like, when the love is real, petty games like that just are not necessary. That's not to say you can't keep it fun, can't keep it exciting, can't keep it passionate. Not saying that. It's just saying that don't be afraid to put yourself out there a little bit more. It's okay. With this anger card here, I actually really like that this came up, because I feel like this is Spirit saying, like, listen, this is the type of person who can really accept you for who you are in your totality. This isn't a person who's just gonna want to be around you on your best days. This is someone who wants to be there for you, wants to feel, and you know, you're not gonna get all this on the first date, okay? We're talking about like in the future. Although if you're friends first, you know, that could maybe be true. But this is someone who is really gonna be completely accepting of you and is gonna love all aspects of you, and they're not going to judge you or cut you off because you're having a bad day, you know, and the whole thing isn't gonna fall apart if you disagree with them. So don't be afraid to speak up, you know, even if it's over something simple, like don't feel like you have to just go with whatever they want to do all the time, you know, like they don't even want that. They want you to feel comfortable and for you to feel like you can be yourself. So, you know, like if you don't want to get sushi, say, I don't like sushi, I don't want it. You know, like you don't have to just go along with whatever they suggest, you know, or if they tell you, oh, you have to, I don't know why food is coming up, I guess because it's an easy example, but they say, oh, you have to try the chocolate milkshakes here. Don't get a chocolate milkshake if you don't like chocolate. Like, don't, like, why? You know, like, just tell, like, what are you gonna do for the rest of your relationship? Pretend to like chocolate? You know, like, don't feel afraid. And this is probably a more specific message just for some of you, but don't feel afraid to express yourself, you know? Like, if they're playing a song in the car that is, like, making your ears bleed, say, like, hey, man, like, can we change this? Like, I'm just not into it, you know? So, yeah. All right, group 2. Let's see. I think we're just gonna end your reading like we did with group 1, and we're gonna roll the astro die here. I'm just gonna use the house one, and we'll see if we can get some more information about this first date or the person. Okay, let me do a better roll because I don't, there we go. Okay, 12th house. So this person definitely could be a Pisces for sure, with the King of Cups. Pisces is a water sign, cups, water. So yes, they could be a Pisces. You could be seeing this person in your dreams. I definitely feel like this whole reading has like soulmate energy vibes for sure. I also feel like this is the type of person to get lost in a daydream, lost in a reverie. They could be also very idealistic, and you know, I also feel like, you know, if they don't respond super fast to like your text messages or your calls, don't take that personally. They're just kind of a little bit flaky like that. They're not glued to their phone all the time, and they're kind of the type of person to misplace things a lot. Like, they may not be texting you back because they can't find their phone. Like, they're just that kind of person. Like, they're a little bit scatterbrained because they daydream so much. So yeah, don't take that personally. They also like naps. I'm hearing that they like naps. They could be napping. We have the 4th house here. This person's gonna feel like home. They're gonna feel like home. You're gonna really like their family, or they're gonna really like yours. You could possibly be introduced to this person through a family member, potentially. With the 4th house here, this is also speaking to this idea that you could have a long-term future with this person. You know, you could maybe one day start a family with them or live together, because the 4th house is really about home and family. Okay. And then we have the 3rd house, so friendship again. And I feel like this is also really echoing. Oh, I forgot to say the 4th house is associated with Cancer, so this person could also be a Cancer. Now with the 3rd house, this is Gemini energy. So this person is definitely going to be a friend to you as well, not just a romantic partner. This is echoing that idea of you guys having a really great banter together, a really nice, easy rapport. It's so easy for you to talk to this person, joke around with them, go into deep topics, pop culture, mutual interest, doesn't matter. Anything under the sun you can talk to this person about, which is, I think, your favorite thing about this connection, honestly. There's a big mental and emotional and even spiritual connection between you two. All right, group 2, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully I didn't shake the camera too much. Like I was saying, it's a very precarious setup I've got here, and hopefully you didn't mind me filming outside. Thank you all for being understanding of my need for some sunshine. Okay, group 2, I will see you in my next one. Please take care. Group 3, last but not least, welcome to your reading. So we are filming outside today. I hope you guys don't mind. Like I was telling the other groups, it's a beautiful day outside and I really wanted to spend some time in the sunshine. Hopefully you guys can see the cards, and hopefully I don't shake the camera too much. It's a pretty precarious setup out here, so yeah, if there are any hiccups, I hope you guys can overlook it. I've pre-pulled all your cards because we are outside to make life easier and to not get my cards dirty. So for you all, I was really drawn to the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot. It's a really beautiful, beautiful deck. I feel like there's going to be a very strong physical attraction here between you two. So this is your next first date. So for many of you, you're probably single watching this reading. So we have the Judgment card here to start off. Look at the pretty, I hope you guys can see like the golden foil. Maybe not. It's a gorgeous deck though. Yeah, I feel like this person's really gonna like the way you dress. They're gonna like your aesthetic. I mean, really, they're very drawn to your physical appearance. I feel like you're exactly this person's type, but with Judgment coming out to begin with here, there's also some emotional depth to this. It's not just about your looks. But I think initially, if we're talking about what draws this person in, it is your physical appearance. They are very much physically attracted to you, but they do have good intentions towards you. So, you know, whatever they're telling you that they want, I think you can trust that with the Judgment card coming through. They have good intentions. I just keep hearing, I'm a soul whose intentions are good. Please don't let me be misunderstood. I'm a soul whose intentions are good. Please don't let me be misunderstood. I will say this person definitely likes to feel like they are kind of like the protector energy. So they could have like mama bear, papa bear kind of energy. Like they would be like the mom or dad of their friend group kind of thing. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so yeah, I feel like they are, you know how like certain people, okay, you know when you go over to like your grandma's house and she's like fussing all over you, like, do you want a cup of tea? Like, do you want a snack? Are you hungry? You know, like, do you want a sandwich? Are you cold? Why are you wearing that? You should have brought a jacket. You know, like, you know, and they kind of just fuss over you a little bit. I feel like this person's almost like that on the first date. So like, let's say they come to your house and they pick you up and you're in their car. They're like, you know, you can change like the position of the seat if you need to. Are you sure you have enough leg room? Oh, do you want me to turn the seat warmer on? Are you gonna be okay if I go on the interstate? Like, or do you prefer like back roads? Do you want me to take this route? Is that gonna be all right? Is the music too loud? You know what I mean? Like, they just fuss over you a little bit. Some of you might like the attention, and others of you might be like, I'm good. Like, it's fine. I'm not that high maintenance. And some of you are like, I am that high maintenance, and I love that. So kind of depends upon your vibe. With the Ace of Cups, I definitely feel like they will be asking you out. They will make the first move here. Also with the Ace of Cups, I feel like this person couldn't play coy if they tried. Like, they're the type of person where everything they feel, everything they're thinking is written all across their face. Like, you can read this person like a book, and you might be super intuitive on top of it to the point to where it's like, I can read this person's mind, like, because it's just so obvious, you know. And so like, if this person tried to lie, it would be almost funny. It would be like comical, because, and I don't think that they are a liar. I do think they're very, remember like the message we got in the beginning, like, I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Please don't let me be misunderstood. So I do think that, yeah, this person, yeah, they can't hide how they feel about you. It's quite sweet. You're going to be able to tell how into you they are, how physically attracted to you they are. I do feel like they could definitely give you a lot of compliments, but honestly, I feel like this person's love language is mostly acts of service. They could do a bit of words of affirmation too, or some gift giving, but I feel like acts of service is a big one for them for sure. with the Magician card coming forward now, this person I'm hearing wants to roll out the red carpet for you. So I definitely feel like they want to impress you. That's pretty important to them. They want to impress you. And I do feel like that almost there's like this energy a little bit of this person putting you on a pedestal, and maybe they think that you're a little bit out of their league. And you know, that doesn't necessarily have to do with physical appearance. It could be because like maybe this person is like a year or two younger than you, and so they're like, you know, and maybe you don't typically date people younger than you, and you've made that known to them, like, hey buddy, I'm giving you a chance here because I don't date guys younger than me, or you know, whatever. And so they already feel like they've been put on notice, like they already feel like they have to prove themselves, or they're already on thin ice or something like that. Something like that is coming forward. Like there's something about it where, you know, or maybe like they're still in grad school but you're established in your career, or you know, I don't know, it could just be because this person's super humble and that's why they feel like you're a bit out of their league. But that is coming through. I don't know how you feel about that message, but I'm hearing it, so I gotta say it. Okay, this is super casual reading, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, we have the Sun card here. This person, though, like their energy is really contagious. Really contagious. Like, I was watching this little apartment tour. Don't judge me, okay? But I watch one too many Bravo shows, and I love Real Housewives. Every time I stop watching it, I always come back to it. But one of the spin-off shows of Real Housewives is Vanderpump Rules. Super trashy show. Don't watch it. Don't even get sucked into it. I'm telling you, don't. Okay? But one of the cast members was giving an apartment tour, and he was so excited about like everything in the apartment. Like he was like, oh, check this out. And it was like a coffee table that had one of those lift up tops so that you could like pull it forward and like eat at your coffee table like comfortably. And so he was so super excited about it that like I was smiling like just watching the tour, because it's nice to see people be so excited and grateful just over little things, especially in a society that's like very capitalist driven and, you know, just tells you to want more and more and more. It's nice when people are genuinely excited and grateful just for the little things, especially for people, sorry, like the umbrella's blowing, especially for people who have come from like you know, humbler beginnings, like a lower socioeconomic background, or a background where there was a lot of financial struggles. And for this cast member, that was the situation, and he had come out on the other side of it, and he was supporting his whole family, and it was just nice. It was nice to see somebody so excited about a coffee table, and to be so grateful that they could afford that and that they could provide that, you know, for themselves and like their girlfriend. And you know, it's just that kind of energy to me. And I know that was like a really long like example, but I don't know how else to like describe it to you. But yeah, this person gets super excited over just the smallest of things, and it's like I feel like it kind of shifts your perspective too, especially if you've been in a more like pessimistic energy, you know, right before you go out on this date with this person. I feel like if you've been kind of down in the dumps, this is the type of person that would be able to so easily change your mood and shift your mood. You know how when you talk to some people and you feel so drained afterwards because they're just so negative and complaining about everything, and then you start complaining about stuff and ruminating over stuff, and it's just like, this person's not that, you know, like you leave this date feeling so optimistic and happy and giddy. I'm hearing the word giddy. Yeah, you know, like you just can't stop smiling, you know, as you like recall different moments during the date. So I do feel like you're gonna have a better time than what you're expecting. I do feel like you have some reservations about going out on this date for whatever reason. you know, maybe you're hung up on your ex, or, you know, you're questioning whether you even want to be dating, or, you know, maybe whatever, it was a long week at work and you're like, man, I don't even feel like going out, whatever the case is. Sorry, there's like 2 bees flying really close by. Bees to me are a sign of good luck, so I feel like that is a really good sign for your reading here. But anyway, so with the Sun card here, I feel like this person's really connected to their inner child, and there's probably going to be moments during the day where they're just so excited that you guys got a really great parking spot, or they're just so excited that their favorite song is playing on the radio, or they're just so excited that the restaurant you're going to has their favorite dessert on the menu. Honestly, this person's reminding me a little bit of myself, because I can get carried away over, like, if I see tiramisu on a dessert menu, I'm good for the rest of the day. I'm happy. Like, that's it. That's all it takes. Yeah, so I feel like it's a good energy for sure, to be in. Okay, or to be a part of, or to witness, whatever, to share with. Okay, now we have the Empress here. This is 100% like how this person views you. Like, remember how I said, like, they put you on a pedestal, especially if you feel like you're the divine feminine. You are the Empress to them. Like, they just really kind of see you as their, like, dream girl or guy. Because remember, with the Empress, like, we're just talking about energy, we're not talking about gender. Even if I use, like, she, her pronouns, I'm still just talking about energy. It's just easier to communicate in that way. But yeah, the Empress, like, she's the queen of all queens, right? Like, it doesn't get any better than her. So yeah, they definitely see you as, like, their dream person, and that could be why that they feel like you're out of their league, because they could just feel like, this is, like, the best person I could possibly imagine. Like, surely they're not into me, you know? Like, I feel like this person is very humble. Very humble. Now, with the Fool card here, this is echoing that sense of optimism and excitement that we were talking about. This person is definitely, like, a romantic, like, maybe even a little bit of a hopeless romantic. Like, they love love. And I think sometimes they've gotten burned in the past, but it's like they could have their heart broken over and over and over again, but they're just a resilient person, and they're like, you know, that's life, that's living. Sometimes you get your heart broken, but that doesn't mean you opt out of the game. You get back out there. Like, that's this person's, like, energy. Like, someone could dump them and they would be like, well, you're lost. You know, and they just keep it moving. I mean, you know, they just bounce back. I'm hearing Big Sean's bounce back song now. Yeah, like, it just doesn't faze them, you know. They are very much, I think, even if they're not into spirituality, like the occult and tarot and that kind of thing, I do feel like they have a sense of faith. They do have a sense of faith. And so when stuff like that happens, they're like, you know what, that wasn't my person then, and it's cool. You know, and this applies to, like, multiple areas of their life. They're not a quitter. They're not a quitter. So if something doesn't go their way, they're like, okay, there was a reason for this. Like, there is a bigger plan in place, and it is what it is. I'm gonna keep doing my best, and I'm gonna try something new, or try something again, or, you know, like, yeah, they don't give up. They don't give up on love. They don't give up on their dreams. They just keep going, you know. And I think, honestly, that also gives them, it's like they're humble, but they have a sense of self-assurance, because they do trust in themselves, and they do trust that there's some sort of bigger plan. And so they don't get bogged down. They don't get depressed easily. It's really hard to get them to feel down in the dumps. I mean, they're human, so they have their days, but I think they're just so optimistic, and they have such a sunny outlook on life compared to the average person. And yeah, I mean, they don't let it faze them. This person's really, it's like they have this sweet, excitable kind of childlike energy, but then they also can be like super chill about stuff. Like, you know, they are very laid back in that sense of like go with the flow, like, you know, whatever happens when I jump off this cliff is whatever happens, but I'm still gonna go for it because this is life and this is living and this is what it means to live. And so yeah, like they can maybe surprise you as you get to know them how many risks they're willing to take, you know, because they're not afraid to try something new. They're not afraid to make a fool of themselves. They don't take themselves so seriously. They don't take life so seriously. And there's something that is very magnetic about that. And something about that, honestly, that we could all probably learn from, and something that should be really respected, you know, because it's hard. Like, it's hard to put yourself out there. It's hard not to care what other people think. It's hard to just try and fail, pick yourself back up and do it all over again. And this person does that in their life. Okay, now with the 10 of Pentacles here, I definitely feel like this person, I think, is pretty close with their family, and I feel like they will definitely tell their family about this first date. I mean, they are like over the moon for you, quite frankly. So they're going to be talking about you to really anybody who will listen. And remember, they get very excited even about the little stuff. So the fact that they're so into you, they're probably annoying other people around them, talking about you so much. With the 10 of Pentacles too, they could be taking you somewhere quite nice. Not. Here's the thing with the 10 of Pentacles. It's comfortable, but it's not like luxurious. So they're going to take you somewhere nice, but not anywhere where it's like super over the top. Like, you know, they're not spending crazy money on you, but they are treating you to something nice. We'll get more information on that as we get into the rest of your cards. Okay, now we have the 9 of Swords. I feel like this is you. I feel like this is you. I don't know why you have some kind of reservation about going out on this date, some sort of anxiety. You didn't sleep well the night before, and it could be something totally unrelated that's going on that's causing this for you. But it's almost like, I'm trying to think of a good example of this. Okay, you know, I keep using Friends as an example a lot, and I apologize if you guys are getting tired of me using that show as a point of reference, but it's a very popular show and a lot of people have watched it. So Monica and Chandler are friends for years, and they're in the same friend group, right? And he asks her in a couple of episodes, I think it's when they go on a beach trip, you know, like, would you ever date me? Would you ever, you know, and she keeps shooting him down, and eventually they end up hooking up. But the whole reason that they hook up is because she's feeling really insecure about the fact that she's not married, and she's at her brother's wedding, and she's just feeling sorry for herself, and her mom's being awful to her and making her feel like an old crone. And you know, she just gets in her feelings, and she ends up going to the room to hook up with their other friend Joey, but he's not there, and so she ends up hooking up with Chandler, so it's messy, and she falls in love, and they get married, and they live happily ever after, right, on the show. So it's something kind of like that energy of like, you're in your feelings about something else, and you can't see what is right there in front of you. You can't even see the opportunity that is right there in front of you because you're so in your feelings. That's the kind of energy I'm picking up. And it's like, you're not seeing what is right there in front of you. And it may be like there's this aha epiphany moment for you at some point in time, not on the first date, but at some point in time where it just clicks and you're like, actually, this might be my person, you know? Could just also be a really indecisive person. I mean, some of us are, you know? Okay, so let's get into the rest of your oracle cards here. We have self-love, we have friendship, we have codependency, we have guarded, and we have fun. Okay. I feel like we've gotten more clarity here on the dynamic. So here's the deal. You may be worried because this person is so into you, and maybe they're coming on a little too strong, and that could be because you're all guarded. And so you're reading them as maybe being someone who's codependent because they're coming on so strong. Here's the deal. Like, neither one of these are ideal energies, okay? You guys need to meet in the middle. You guys need to meet in the middle. I feel like you're just perceiving them in this way because you are in this energy. I hate to put it on you, group 3, but I think it's you. So, yeah, I feel like if you just express yourself, communication is key here, okay? So if you just tell them what your boundaries are, tell them what you need, tell them what you're comfortable discussing versus what you're not comfortable discussing, what you're cool with, what you're not cool with, this person will fall in line. They will. You know, they have a very open heart. They do. And, you know, you may be worried about hurting their feelings, but I think that they would much rather you just be open and upfront with them in the long run. And then you two can get on the same page, and you both can, like I said, meet in the middle. Okay, we have self-love here. I think this might also be part of the issue, is that this person may be so complimentary towards you that, you know, if you've been having a difficult time, if you're feeling guarded, you may you may question their intentions. You may say, you may think to yourself, oh, are they just giving me a lot of compliments on like my physical body because they want to sleep with me? Are they just trying to get with me physically and then never call me again? Is that what they're up to? You know what I mean? Like, you may just question their intentions. And, you know, I think, you know, that's unfortunate. That may be because of some past experiences that you've had. But I feel like if you just tell them, hey, like, I'm not comfortable with that, they would respect it. You know, because they want you to feel good. You know, it's not their intention to make you uncomfortable. So if they're being like overly complimentary towards you, or they're fussing over you too much, you know, anything that they're doing that is making you feel that guarded energy, that's triggering some insecurities within you of like, and when I say insecurity, I mean like not feeling safe, then just say so. Just say so, because they will be open and respectful. And honestly, this person is so into you that if you told them, listen, I can only handle a friendship right now, they would be fine and dandy with that. Like, they really will wait for you. I'm telling you. Like, this person will be patient. And if you tell them like, hey, I only ever want to be friends, that might be a different discussion. That might be them saying, okay, I'm cool with that, like, I'm so into you, like, I'll take what I can get. And then, you know, for others of you, it may be like, well, I'm so into you, I don't know if I can handle just a friendship, I might have to think about it, might have to play it by ear, you know. Just have that discussion though, have that open discussion if that ends up being the case. And again, I feel like that has more to do with what you're going through emotionally than how they are acting or how into them you are, okay? Yeah, I honestly feel like you're not allowing yourself to give into it. Like, I feel like you are just in a place of like, just finding it really hard to open up your heart to anybody. Like, and I mean, all of you have different backstories. Spirit didn't go into a lot of that, at least in your tarot, but I do feel like we got that message in the very beginning, like, please trust that my intentions are good, which makes me think that in your past, other people have not had good intentions towards you, and that's where we're at with it. So it's not coming from a place of judgment, but I do think there are some walls up for you emotionally. I do. Okay, now we have fun. I feel like even if you go into this date with these reservations, I do feel like, again, this person's energy is really contagious. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. And so I do feel like you're gonna do kind of similar to group 2 in this way, where you're gonna do something a bit more non-conventional. You're not gonna do a typical like movie dinner date. It's gonna be something a bit unexpected. I do feel like this person wants to surprise you, which I think is hard because I think you like to be in control. And so I feel like you're gonna be like, no, you have to tell me what we're gonna do because I have to know what to wear. And they're gonna say, oh no, it's cool, just wear whatever, doesn't matter, you look great in everything. And I feel like that would annoy you. You know, I feel like you're like, no, like what are we doing, where are we going? Because there is that need to like feel safe, that's where that control comes from, is a need to feel safe. And I do think this person would surprise you with something that you're really gonna enjoy. Like it's gonna be something super thoughtful and right up your alley is what I'm hearing, right up your alley. So something that maybe you've always wanted to do or something that you love to do, but it's gonna be right up your alley and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Okay, we have intimacy here, love, closeness, affection, and sexual chemistry. See, I knew it. You are attracted to this person. You are, but you're acting like you're not. And they are acting the exact opposite. Like how they feel is clear as day. You could see it from 20 miles away, how they feel about you. And you're trying to act like you couldn't be bothered, but you're into them too. Group 3, come on. Like, you are just, I don't know if you're playing hard to get. I don't know. What are you doing, group 3? Like, you're like making this person work for it. Okay. We have air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So this could be your placements. It could be their placements. But we do have air sign energy. I do feel like air signs tend to be really, really fun. They're fun people to hang out with. You know, that's where I feel like air signs too are pretty easy to read. Like if you're dealing with a Scorpio, they're harder to get a read on, right? And even Cancers, they can be sneaky, right? Like Pisces, they can be so back and forth. But I feel like with air signs, even Geminis, like, I don't know, there's something about air sign energy where it's kind of like what you see is what you get. I think air signs and fire signs tend to be a lot easier to figure out because earth signs are a lot more reserved, and water signs, when you deal with emotion, is tricky, right? Yeah. I feel like there's a real intellectual compatibility between you two as well. I will say that. I feel like there's intimacy on every level, and maybe that's why you're scared. Because we also have the triggered card here. So yeah, like we have triggered and we have fear. Sorry, I'm not even showing you the cards. I apologize. Yeah, so it's triggering some fears in you, probably from your past. If some of you are super into astrology, maybe you dated an air sign in the past and it didn't work out, and so maybe you were like, no more air signs. And maybe this person's like, listen, I know I'm a Gemini, I know I'm an Aquarius, I know I'm a Libra, but like, can you just give me a chance anyway? Like, you know, and maybe you're like, no, I've dated like 3 air signs in the past and they all screwed me over. I'm not dating another Gemini. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what it is. Because remember, we were getting that message in the beginning of you being like hesitant to even accept, you know, this date because of something that's kind of outside of their control. Okay. Oh, here's another clue. We've got distance. Yeah, maybe that's why you're so closed off to it, because there's a little bit of long distance involved. Maybe you've done this in the past and it didn't work out and you're scared. You're scared. You're like, I don't know if I can do long distance again. And I mean, long distance can vary. So maybe if you live in a city that's really huge and traffic is terrible, maybe they just live on the different side of town than you. For others of you, maybe they live in a different state or a different country, and it just makes you super nervous to do that again. Okay, and then we have spring and winter. So I think this is pretty telling, right? I almost feel like this is like your energy is winter and their energy is spring. You know, like they are all ready for it and you're still acting a bit cold. Now this first date could happen during December, January, February, March, April, or May, or it could happen between the seasons changing. This could also be a metaphorical message that, you know, if you've been in a winter season of your life and that's why you've been feeling guarded and feeling down, this person could represent the spring, especially because they were coming through with the Fool card energy, which is all about new beginnings. It's the first major arcana card, right? It's card 0. We have yes. We have yes. So Spirit is saying, like, please go for this. Please just be open to this. Just say yes. You know, even if it doesn't go anywhere, even if you decide you don't want to be with this person, it's time to start unwrapping those chains around your heart. It's time to start being a little bit more open here. Okay. Now we have Temperance, beautiful energy, and we have They're Watching. This card can seem creepy, don't be freaked out. With They're Watching, especially because we got the long distance card. This could tell me that maybe you guys meet online through a dating app and maybe they've been looking at your profile for a while before they get up the courage to message you. Or maybe they messaged you and you didn't respond right away because we already know what kind of energy you're on. And so maybe they were like checking their inbox or trying to see if you were online or whatever, trying to see if you were going to respond to their message. This could also mean that, you know, they would be showing their friends and family like your social media posts. And I think, you know, people tend to, like, I'm not on social media. Like, I know I have this YouTube channel, but that's really kind of it for me. But I know, like, some people do that, like, okay, like, look at this person I'm going out on a date with, like, look at their Facebook, what do you think? That kind of thing. With Temperance, though, I feel like you guys have a real opportunity here to balance each other out and to grow together. And I feel like that's why Spirit is, like, encouraging you to go for this, you know, like, date and to, like, go for this connection, because there's a real potential here for growth and for you to, you know, to really evolve together and learn things from each other. And maybe a little bit of opposites attract, you know? I don't know, like, they come through as, like, a ray of sunshine, and I feel like maybe you're a little bit more jaded, a little bit more cynical, just tired, maybe, like, over it. And so, yeah, they may rekindle, like, some sense of optimism for you. And you could bring them back down to earth a little bit, because I think they need that sometimes. Okay. Group 3, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do this reading for you. And yeah, I had a really great time. I hope you did as well. And I will see you in my next one.